afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and everything amazing Propagandacaster. Me, your host, Imperial Dane, Master of Propaganda, Hero of Psych, Defender of the Fatherland. Off here to a 1 versus 1 own. Crossing in the woods in the north, it's Deimos, fighting for the German army. The Wehrmacht, taking on the role here of the 415th Infantry, shown here with Osttruppen Doctrine, with infantry, mines, and Panzerfaust in the south. We got Fahu, fighting for the Soviet Union, Socialism, Comrade Stalin, and the 27th Tank Corps. We got Motor, got Rifle and Mechanized Support. We got triple guards bulletins. Fahu's all about those guardsmen. Who knows? He might even have little guards caps for himself. But anyways, Osttruppen MD42 out there for Deimos, an aggressive start there. He's going to have to hope his opponent's not going to go for Special Rifle Command with the Scout cast, because he is forgoing the Infantry Company, meaning he has absolutely no Panzerfaust. So easily barreled over there with Fahu's Barway, going for an incredibly interesting start. He's going for triple engineers. That is very bold in a lot of ways. He's clearly intending to grab a lot of territory very fast. Maybe he's anticipating Osttruppen, but then again, you'd figure he'd just go for Scout, because I'm guessing Fahu here might just be trying out something new. Either way, triple engineers on top of the conscript squad versus an Osttruppen star. That's definitely not your average opening, that's for sure. Sandbags on the eastern field, pulling the MD4 sitting up here by the conscript by the eastern munitions. Seizing up here to the western field with the Osttruppen. More Osttruppen out there for Deimos, and the 417th Infantry Division. What's the 416th? Anyways, Osttruppen there's the engineers, MD4 in pursuit of the conscripts. Pioneers moving up here on the eastern side. MD4 in pursuit aggressively. He's going to probably have to retreat that one. I mean, it's hard. I hope he can sort of build up enough Osttruppen presence to stop the conscripts from pursuing it constantly. MD4 or Pioneers versus the engineers here. MD4's constant pursuit. They harass conscripts, taking shots. They're also doing what they can, but it's not enough here. It's just not enough. In the OS, field points for short. They here, engineers going to go down to the Pioneers. And there you go, conscript rider, the MD42 makes it, but has lost numerous men. And the question is if he just wouldn't have been better off just retreating them and getting, less casualties. In the West, the Osttruppen has engineers. Again, heavy engineer build from Fahu. You just don't see that. Yeah, I can't remember if I've actually seen this, actually. And certainly I haven't casted it, but anyways. Deimos following up here with the tech here, luring on the triple Osttruppen to then push against Fahu and the Red Army, who's going for more conscripts. Basil stirs beneath the desk before finding another place to lie down to sleep, which is right next to my feet. Osttruppen securing the centre victory point. Osttruppen moving back here in the west. Mines being laid down here rapidly by Fahu's engineers. Lots of mines, in fact. Lots of mines. MD4 on the move against securing the eastern territory with the Osttruppen and the Pioneers, wiring off to deny cover to Fahu and his wicked Bolsheviks. Engineers versus Osttruppen here. Shots being fired here. Kar-9 TKs versus the Mosin guns, and quickly routed, moving up here straight for the munitions in the east. Or west, I mean. This is the east. Unless we switch perspectives now. Anyways. Nothing further happening there. The Pioneers and Magna retreating. There we go, to get up. They'd like to make a nice company as soon as possible. But again, Fahu's opening build definitely is one of the more unique I've seen in some time. The conscripts are pressing them quickly. Osttruppen there's going to rush in and flush out the Bolshevik bastards aggressively. MD4 coming up for the centre, grabbing the western point here. Back here we got troops reinforcing, and there should be like to make a nice company any time soon here for Deimos, not for Fahu, because he's not playing as the Germans. Osttruppen versus conscripts here. MD42 slowly moving up to back up the Osttruppen. A bold push there for the carve point to try and slow down Fahu's resource and income. Securing the western munitions here with the Osttruppen in the centre, conscript being hammered by MD42 fire and the Osttruppen, slowly suppressing them. But of course still got moments here from Fahu to contest and slow down the enemy. We got more mines up. He is really mining the stuffing out of the west side of the map, isn't he? I mean, I doubt Deimos is aware of this, and so won't have mines ready. We got 2-2 on the way there. Very good choice. Certainly nice, fast, and aggressive here versus Fahu. Long-term, Pam's going to of course, be a really good choice. And also maybe considering getting the offside. He's really good, and he's also really overlooked by a lot of Wehrmacht players. Well, that's just me. Pioneer sending out their flying rifles on the way there, so he's going to be completely exposed to any and all mines Fahu's been laying down here. Good God. Fahu's going to have fun with that, isn't he? Conscript has Osttruppen here, caught negative cover. They're in an absolutely horrific spot since in no cover. And of course, negative cover, they absolutely can't hit the broadside of a barn from the inside. Partners with the flamethrowers, they need to fall back into a better position. He's clearly trying to bait them into the MD-42. We'll have to see if Fahu takes the bait, or if he is of greater sense than that. 2-2 there, moving in. Moving up the west side, there we go. Engineers caught by the MD-42. Flank though being covered up with the partners with the flamethrower. Fahu is relentlessly pressuring his opponent at the same time, though Fahu's doing the same, he's heading for the fuel point, realizing that Deimos is overstanding on the center there, leaving the fuel point exposed and open. Good read there by Fahu on Deimos, certainly catching a bit off guard here. Consequences of Pioneers here, Pioneers need to be a bit careful. 2-2 moving to the west here, Osttruppen moving up and managing to dodge all of the mines that so far that Fahu's been laying down. MD-4 doing the counter, suppressing troops, engineers right there by the 2-2 at least. We got Osttruppen as the engineers there. Almost got the fuel point here rendered Russian or Soviet. Back here in the base for Deimos, nothing further going on there. Pentagon's could be an option at this stage. Part of me would figure flamethrower after, since that's very much common part of the Osttruppen build order. Like you get out a fast flamethrower after, and then you just begin burning down the enemy and their houses. So we'll obviously, there you go, half-track on the way, and that is going to be 99% certainty a flamethrower half-track. Since, I mean, 99% of players feel like go for it, go for the flamethrower half-track, only despite the regular half-track actually being pretty good. At least in my personal experience. Back here, bunker up, we got the half-track almost down there for Deimos. He's in the western fuel point here. Maximum on the way there for Fahu to help slow down some of the infantry. Of course, it's going to be a bit vulnerable to a flamethrower half-track. Guardsman out. Fahu's big, dream here. Of course, with all the triple guards bulletins, it's quite clear that is where Fahu is looking. That is where his gaze is sighted on the guardsmen and their nice green capes and their garrison caps, which is sort of one name for these sort of caps they're wearing. Fun fact. Push out the west side here, also engaged by lots of conscripts and the engineers backing up here. Engineers versus the 2-2 Guardsmen joining it. Who's going to have a back flank for after it's good to go. Versus the Guardsmen, it has a good chance that they sort of get engaged correctly, since they can just do so much damage to the Guardsmen so fast. Squad lost, bit of loss there for Deimos, quickly replaced with another Osttruppen squad. I mean, they are expendable. They are the original expendables. In this case, they didn't quite engage fast enough. The flamethrower after Guardsmen are taking some damage, unless 2-2's all doing some damage there, but with no infantry follow up, it's going to be a struggle here. MD-42 is maximum in the open. In the west, bit of skirmishing, engineers moving out. Guardsmen are routed in the east. Fuel point, though, is still in the hands of Fahu and the 27th Tank Corps. MD-42 is the Maxim. And Deimos is going to need to repair his light vehicles, since they've already been dinged up quite badly. Mine hit there, by the way. Medic bunker up there for Deimos. Need to be very careful about that flamethrower, particularly once now he's aware his opponent is laying down mines. I mean, knowing about a heavily damaged flamethrower half-track seems a bit ill-advised. Back here, troops sealing, reinforcing. Fahu's getting ready for the next big push against the fascists. Against the Hitlerite scum. And there goes Sicily. Field gun spotted here by Deimos' plucky Osttruppen. But they're about to get hit by a massive counter-attack force there by Fahu. Charging in as his infantry and his engineers. Grabbing the western point here. Grabbing the eastern fuel point back with the Osttruppen. Very good. Machine gun covering up here. Bit of work here for Deimos to repair stuff. Pentagon it is will not be a bad choice versus this sort of force composition that Fahu's managed to assemble. Officer could also work out. Again, pretty handy unit. And there you go. Panzergrenadier out for Deimos. For Deutschland. Osttruppen moving up, engineers hiding up. They're nice spot there by Fahu. Deimos moves in unawares, and then Fahu springs the trap. Sending Deimos' Osttruppen careening back to the base. Resecuring the eastern side here, at least for now. The west has seemingly for now been given up. Oh! Attempted grenade on the retreat path there by Fahu. A bold maneuver didn't quite pay off, but if it had, oh boy, that would have been quite unpleasant. Pentagon is scored almost done there for Deimos. It's being sent in to support the 460th Infantry Division, which would not have access to half-tracks, 2-2s, and certainly not Panzergrenadiers. They might have access to some as assault rifles, but that's about it. And that would have been part of the Fusilier unit, which is sort of the slightly, better grenadiers in the division that sort of acted as both sort of the elite, but also as the reconnaissance elements. They were usually a tad better equipped than the rest of the division, and the If the division received any Stuks, they were usually the ones that were expected to guard the Stuks and act as infantry escorts for them under the direction there of Guderian. Fun fact. Comes to the rest of the Osttruppen, punch moving up. There you go, flamethrower check moving in as well. Oh, they're really bunched up. That's great for flamethrower check, by the way. Think to remember is all flamethrower weapons are AoE weapons, so basically bunched up units are really vulnerable to flamethrower weapons in that sense. Plus, they're not quite as affected by suppressor weapons as well, since AoE weapons don't quite care as much about accuracy. Bit of a bad move here for Deimos, the right in front of the field gun and the gun from the flamethrower after they close to losing, not quite flanking with the 2-2. But not the Panzer Grenadiers. Those were probably really great for that bit. MD4 just come up the flank here. Farm extended, and we can see the Deimos can deal with. Oh, the 2-2 went down, bit of blow there to Deimos. A nice victory there. We go. Grenade off from the Guardsman. Bit slow to retreat, and Yuri and Boris are blasted into oblivion. Quite a lot of intense action. Flamethrower after couldn't have to deal with the Maxim here. And we got a supply drop inbound there for Deimos to support the 416th Infanterie Division. Heading for the craft point there, of course, can mean an MG34 to bag up, and of course a Pack 40 there. Got the flamethrower going for the Maxim. If I wasn't paying attention, that could be an easy wipe here for Deimos. Already most of the crew is cooking, and there we go. Fahu saves them just in the nick of time before they all become combustibles. Back here, reinforcement, supplies, pack, and machine gun. They're all waiting to be nabbed by German troops. I'm not sure what happened here for Deimos, but that looks to be another Osttruppen squad sent to the great Ostbataillon in the sky. So, probably should get this stuff recruit with Osttruppen, maybe going for some more infantry here. Again, the officer would be a solid choice. Osttruppen is in the eastern point here. Back here we got Fahu rushing straight ahead for the mechanized armor company, basically bearing ahead of whatever advantage he's got there to try and hit his opponent with tanks. Excellent play there by Fahu. Good sense of battlefield momentum. And pushes whatever advantage he can get over his opponent, certainly throwing as many, well, problems in Deimos' way as possible. Of course, with a Pack 40 it's not going to be too bad. Of course, 2 machine guns should further help constrain Fahu's infantry. But he's going to have to move fast himself for armor there, I think, long term, to have a really good chance versus Fahu. So the faster they can do that, the better. In particular, since that will increase the flamethrower chances of not immediately getting murdered. And that would, of course, long term also be great for Deimos. And of course, in that sense, for Fahu, one of his immediate goals is to, light that thing on fire. Lacking anti-tank grenades, though. That's a bit awkward. Also, we need to retreat. And we got Telemines down here. Not a bad spot, except, Fahu can see it. Remember, a good mine is like a good surprise. You don't want your opponent to see it. Unlike a good surprise, you don't want the other ones to blow up. Unless you got problems. Anyways, ponies need to retreat. Flamethrower after into the way. Pack 40 moving up. Troops reinforcing. No take up yet there for Deimos. MD4 going up there. MD34 though is hanging a bit further back. I think he's trying to extend more to the west. He's one he needs to try and play a bit more aggressively here. In some ways, of course, not recklessly so, but some good overlapping movements with the machine guns could prove quite crucial here for Deimos versus Fahu, who's bringing up his first tank, and that's really going to give Deimos a challenge. And I think we'll further just highlight the absolute need for him to take up. And Fahu is just mining more. Excellent work there. Good man. Good man. So many mines there from Fahu. That is absolutely something worth learning from. MD4-2, the rest of the advancing Russian infantry going to be in the open. Suppress the Maxim, the panzers moving up. If we can get the other machine gun to bag up here, that'd be great. Of course, he's worried about the flank there. More panzers on the way there for Deimos. Very good. Double panzer is going to be quite a handful there for Fahu to deal with. Of course, the T-54 is going to be quite a handful for the panzer to deal with, though. He does have enough ammunition to at least upgrade one of the squads rapidly with Panzerstrecks, which should, of course, do quite a bit of good. They will, undercut his anti-infantry ability, but ensuring he doesn't get steamrolled by T-34, I think, has precedent over that. Got the Maxim, they can't quite deal with it, and there you go, the flamethrower take caught in a bad spot. The T-34 immediately just sets it on fire, leaving Deimos one solid anti-infantry counter short. He's going to have to retreat those panzers going to do soon, and I'd not be surprised to see him actually just quickly upgrading this squad with Panzerstrecks. Mines going off here. Fahu's mining is slowly going to pay off, I think. No tech up yet here for Fahu, or Deimos. Don't know why I want Fahu to be the German. I mean, I know he's actually German, but, you know, stereotyping is bad, kids. Anyways, Panzer's moving up here against the Guardsmen. Quickly taking hits from the Guardsmen. Quick Gebalteladung and routed in the face of this mighty German improvised explosive. Take up fight happening there for Deimos and for the 416th Infantry Division. Troops reinforcing here. Field gun hanging about. Engineers there on watch with a minesweeper. Deimos is definitely struggling in the field department. Again, bit of a fortunate luck there in that sense. And also I feel like he's not been really fighting around the field very much. I think he's been focusing a bit too much around the centre, which is usually a bit of a recipe for things going poorly in my experience. Anyways, for tech up is finally happening there for Deimos, for Deutschland. So far, no sign of Panzer rejection of the Panzer Grenadiers, at least, so he's not too worried about the T-34-76 as of yet here. And Fahu here with mechanized support, of course, can bring in the ISU. A rare sight in 1 versus 1 is the reasonably popular in 2 versus 2s, and an absolute bastard on the right map. On a map like this, I could definitely see it being quite useful, since it's not exactly a map with a lot of maneuver room. It's basically just 3 very large choke points. I mean, it's not a very good maneuver map in that sense, and it's honestly a map I'd not, you know, be sad to see go. Sandbagging up here in the west, support corps going up there for Deimos and can't go for a Panzer IV right away. Panzer taking lost the conscripts, we're caught in a bad spot. Still Deimos regaining map control. There's also got a victory point leader of Fahu here and the Red Army. T-34 sitting up the eastern side, pushing back the Panzer Grenadiers. Osttruppen on the way, but against the T-34 they won't last long. No, this was the, shall we say, fine model of T-34 was here, the model 1942. Though technically, apparently, it wasn't just so much models, it's also just dependent a bit on the factories that were making the T-34s. At least I've seen some sources claim that. But anyways, this is the, from my understanding, late model there with the more hexagonal turret, and also more importantly 2 hatches there on top, which is kind of what make the Germans call the Mickey Mouse turret, because a tank, because pop up both turrets, it kind of looks like it has Mickey Mouse ears. Panzer versus the advancing conscript, closing eventually 2 there. That's very good. That wants to hit that. That's a really strong level of veterancy for the Panzer Grenadiers, makes them much more formidable. And there you go, conscripts on and falling much faster. Second T-34 on the way there for Fahu. Deimos, I think, is going to need Stugs. I mean, the Panzer IV can fight them, but the Stug just has the better rate of fire to really contest them. Though the Panzer IV has the better armour, though technically they roughly had the same armour. In fact, the Stug could be argued to have a slightly better armour since some of it was sloped. So, yeah. Slight detail there, but more harassment flanking there for Deimos. Sandbags being dug down. Fahu is just mining as much as he can. Very good. Cutting off both fuel points, so a good move there by Deimos, though I think it also helped him actually gain some of that fuel. T-34 and Sigma now routing the Panzer Grenadiers. Almost got the eastern munitions point. There goes second T-34 around here for Fahu. Swiftly sitting out there. Heading for the western munitions point, heading for the eastern munitions or fuel point there. Deimos is on the move once more versus Fahu and victory points lead. He continues to have to lead, though. It's going to be a very slow sort of lead. MG34, Pack 40 moving in there, very good. T-34-76 moving up. Note, by the way, fast moving in from different angles and showing a less pathing issue, but of course will make it much harder to defend force since they're attacking from different angles, meaning they can't easily focus down by, say, a single-handed tank gun than something else. So, nice over there by Fahu, good use and management of his tanks. Deserves commendation. More mines, really also something that really just needs to be pointed out. Fahu is absolutely on the ball with those mines. He's just not missing a beat to mine as much as he can. And in that sense, it is rather surprising that Deimos has yet to consider any mines, because again, he's probably not aware to the absolute extent Fahu has mined. In that sense, he's like, you know, one of those town officials, you know, in a disaster that's like, you know, this, don't worry, this isn't a problem. It's just going to blow away. And then, you know, it turns out he actually underestimated the problem. Similar here, you know, Deimos like, you know, don't worry, the Russians just mined once or twice. There's no problem. Don't have any problems. Of course, turns out they mined everything. And of course, you know, some young plucky hero, of course, going to come along and save the day. One hopes. Anyways, moving up the west side here, going for the carve point. Back here, troops healing reinforcing for Deimos. Panzerformer's done versus 2 T-54s. It's going to be tricky. It's not impossible. Also, right here, I feel like Deimos made a bad call. He went for his more veteran Panther in his squad to equip the Panther rather than the less one, since the one more veteran is going to be overall just better as an infantry in that way. You really just want him to be able to keep finding infantry, really. I mean, leaving the lesser veteran one to do that instead of the veteran one is a bit of a bad call. Just saying. Yeah, not a fan of this one. Not a fan of this one. Again, that is definitely a thumbs down here from me. Panther 4, they're moving about. Pinot machine arms being added. Troops are standing about. Back at base. Stuke backing up. He'll be a good choice. Finally got more pioneers out for Deimos, and he damn well go for March. But now Fahu is going for another bold move. Oh, he's still got his 3 engineer squads alive. Impressive. But he's actually going for double mortars now, bringing up a lot of artillery to put more pressure on Deimos that way. So interesting plays there by Fahu, interesting force composition, yet not at the same time these weird ones. You're sort of kind of going, what is this, abstract art? I'm definitely not getting that impression from Fahu. Counter-engineers being routed by the enemy 42 in the east, very good. T-54 for the push back the Osttruppen. Panzer 4 moving in, and we got the second mortar out there for Fahu, providing him with a solid amount of artillery support. In fact, giving him a very good combined arms sweep with machine guns, artillery, anti-tank weapons, tanks, and infantry. Plus loads of engineers. Very impressive setup there, buying Fahu, we got Telemans on there from. Oh, Deimos, but his pack 40 goes down. That is horrid. Panzer is moving up there with the Panzerschrecks. Yeah, Ketten Panzerbüchse. Guys being routed. Panther 1 is careful. Could be a bit of a crying shame there for Deimos to lose his Panther 4 now, and the Panther are sadly struggling out in the open. Panther 4 by the way survives the encounter here, but is pushed away. Mines being spotted because for once Deimos has brought up some minesweepers. But right now he's got a bit of a glaring issue. He's got no way of dealing with that T-34-76. Now the tanks, now the infantry. We got T-34 rushing into the base here. Fahu base is seeing an opportunity to hit Deimos' exposed flank. Oh, hit the turbine. Very good. Almost got it, but there's the other issue. The T-34 on his base is likely cannot be able to finish off. Now lose the Pack 40 as well. Panzer extending when they can, but this is a really nice push there with Fahu again. He's got a really good read on Deimos and his movements. And basically just rushed the tank in, so again figuring the back door was open, which it very much was. Because of that blind spot there that Deimos has been... Oh, lost it! And so many awesomes moving in the Panther trying to finish off it, and oh, shot bounced! Ooh, shot bounced, that was lucky there for Deimos. Bad luck for Fahu, though of course he got the good luck first, and there the T-34 goes down, but still quite heavy developments there. Austin, they're trying to creep up the machine gun, is stopping that in tracks cold. He's going to need to recruit that machine, needs to fix up his Panther 4, and he really needs to bring up more armor as well here. Fahu, meanwhile, then lost the T-34 from 6, he needs to bring up more tank destroyers, Katyushas. Well, he could go for the boulder move, would say up for the ISU 152. Not what I'd necessarily super recommend, but I don't think he'd be punished for it if he were to go for it. Lost his minesweeper pioneers, so Deimos has quickly replaced them, very good. Double mortars hanging about there, killing fascists wherever they may appear, and Fahu just keeps it up with the mines, my god. As the Germans would say, mein Gott. Troops repairing, healing, standing about, getting ready for the next big push. More mines being laid down there by Fahu. He is absolutely obsessed with it to almost religious observance. Awesome, they're getting blasted with the T-34-76. Awesome against the Guardsman here, halfway to veteran 3. Panther good to go once more for Deimos, for Deutschland. And the East machine covering up there alongside the Panzerjägers. Of course, we've got the mortars nearby ready to provide covering fire here for whatever Fahu wants to do. Could lay down smoke screens, just lay down barrages. In the west, Osttruppen has the engineers. In the east, Panzerjägers moving up. Hard to say there what Deimos is planning, but you should probably bring your minesweeper along for it. Since Fahu just keeps laying down mines. There's another mine. There's so many mines from Fahu. Wow. I have not seen a player lay down in mines in some time. Far flooding manpower, to understand why the ISU does have a rather steep population requirement, and he's in fact not far off from breaking it, and obviously he wants it at this stage, though of course he could go for caches, fuel and munitions, so maybe, A, speed it up, and of course bring other stuff, but still, spend some of the manpower that, just feeling too much. But I can understand why he's floating it. He obviously wants the ISU, he wants to have the manpower ready for it, but, there are other things you can do with the manpower that doesn't necessarily fill up the pop cap. And there you go. Mortar there took a nasty hit. Panzer 4 versus the T-54 from 6. March was bringing in there. Heading for the Western Fuel Point. Of course, he's forgotten about the maximum. Of course, he's got the Ravel Artillery Support to immediately shatter it, and he doesn't go for it. Surprising. You'd figure, considering all the munitions he has, it being a simple, click, destroy it. Get the job done. Anyways, 469 versus 278 in terms of victory points. Deimos continues to lead here versus Fahu, though of course Fahu's enjoying all of these. He actually ends up going for another Maxim, though. Interesting there. Interesting. It does rather put him a bit beyond than what. Oh, it actually just puts him at the very edge then. The very, very edge of what is feasible there. Going to moving ahead there. Field gun backing up. T-54 as well. No anti-tank weapons nearby. Needing to support. We got Pioneers, Pack 40 though nearby. Panzer 4 could also run flank up. Support is dealing with an infantry incursion in the centre. And these here, the machines being bombarded. There it goes. Finally caught in the Railroad Artillery Support, but where Fahu is paying attention, rather again, I think here, which is a bit better. Also, they just denied him the machine gun nest, so, in this regard, there'd be, double benefit from this. Two's falling back here under Deimos' heavy artillery. Victory point bleed, though, continuously against Fahu in the west. Could see some fighting on the victory point there, but Deimos is more interesting in the carve point here. Which does make sense. Back here, nothing further going on there for Deimos. Flooding fuel. Oh, he's going for tier 4 already. That's pretty bold in some ways. Not necessarily a bad choice, but no. That is what I would have gone for there straight away. I think I would have focused more on Panzer 4s and trying to get an armor advantage now, rather than essentially giving my opponent more of a chance to do whatever he wants to do. And certainly there's a potential here that Fahu could be aiming for the ISU or just any sort of bigger armor. Panzer 4 taking direct hit here from the SIS-3 field gun. Deimos has the heavy Panzer Corps almost done there. Good work, prioritising the Pioneers, getting them all to work on it. Worth noting that despite Fahu having, so many guards bulletins, he's only got one guard squad so far, but of course, he might be trying to stick to a certain amount of infantry once. And certainly with triple conscripts or double conscript guardsmen, then of course the massive amount of units, he might want to be careful there, so he doesn't risk having to manage too much and risk losing units because he can't. Pushing for the fuel point in the east again. In the west, T-54 riding the Osttruppen squad there. Fahu is certainly fluid and flexible. Certainly altered really does not display any sort of signs of tunnel vision, at least major tunnel vision. Osttruppen with light machine guns, of course, also signals to Fahu that Deimos has reached tier 4, so in that regard, Fahu knows what to expect. He is closing in on that ISU, but he's actually... Oh, there we go, got the population back and he called it in right now. So there we go, the ISU 152, the Schwero boy, the beast killer's in, and oh, Deimos is going for a Panzerwerfer. I can understand why, but he will soon find out why the timing for that is absolutely horrid, since the Panzerwerfer is going to do absolutely nothing to the ISU 152, and the ISU 52 is going to do a lot of terrible things to the Panzerwerfer if it catches up with it. So yeah, this is going to, I think, turn a bit bad there for Deimos unless he switches his mind quickly, sees the ISU and then realises, hang on, that Panzerwerfer is going to be useless. But it looks like Fahu is keeping his... Oh, there we go, shoots. Does he realise in time? Does he shift? Oh, he does. He just, in the nick of time before the Panzerwerfer just arrives, Deimos realises what gaping maw of madness he was about to jump into and call in for a panther instead. Probably wiping a bit of sweat there off his forehead. Just realised just about what was to happen. Still, even then, on a map like this, the ice shoot is very strong. Again, it is essentially a series of choke points, meaning there's less room to maneuver against it. On top of that, again, Fahu has been sturdily seeding the battlefield with mines, which of course means it's even harder than for Deimos to actually flank and outmaneuver the ISU. So in this regard, Fahu's, I think, very much been quite aware of the battlefield, his advantage, how to play it, and of course his endgame is essentially this ISU and a lot of mines, maybe with the T-54 to further deter flanking. So right now Fahu's got a very strong hand here versus Deimos, who's struggling a bit. Despite having, I think, at times some good advantages, he's just not quite able to, exercise them as efficiently as Fahu's been pushing his advantages versus Deimos. And there you go. Panzerkampfwagen 5 mobilized. Panzer IV tank here from the ISU 152 and its 152mm cannon. A gun. Osttruppen about to get wiped out. There's going to be another blow there to Deimos, and he can't really afford, I think, any major casualties at the moment. There you go. Osttruppen squad wiped out. Leaves some even shortened infantry. Not entirely sure he's planning to deal with a Panther against an ISU head-on. Not exactly the sort of duel where the Panther usually wins unless there's some extreme luck involved. There you go. Directed at the ISU from the Panther, though, of course, still not exactly a favourite fight for the Panther. Victory points was in 469 versus 143. Deimos has a massive lead here of Fahu and could, probably win on that one. And he's rubbed out a small win there for Deimos, a bit of loss there for Fahu. Back here, troops healing reinforcing. Panzer gun is reinforcing as well. Machine guns getting good to go. Close to the ease level on that one. Very good. Do feel like Fahu needs to put some more effort into the west side. I mean, he sort of suffers a bit more from tunnel vision than I think it's healthy. I mean, you can just get away with a certain degree of it, but right now he's very much been focusing hard east and centre, but the left side has seen very little action from Deimos except the occasional harassment versus Fahu. I should be happy to help blast through some of the Deimos' obstacles. Panzer close to reaching Vetting 2. Osttruppen could catch the mortar, though without cover they won't be able to do much against it anyways. Even with a light machine gun and Vetting 3, they're still very cover dependent. In the centre, Panzer 4 pushed back here by a stalwart defence from Fahu. Constantly being hit by a lot of machine gun fire there. Deimos is very much on the ball with his harassment. I mean, he might be struggling in other ways, but he definitely displays some good aptitude for harassing and cutting off his opponent's resources, and that does deserve some credit. Yes, it is a very solid skill to have, in particular when even this late to the game he's actually struggling a bit, he still does. It's very good there. I don't think Fahu's been laying down any mines recently, though of course he can always just lay down more later. Machine gun sitting up. Minesweeper unit lost again. Deimos keeps losing his minesweepers against the opponent. And on the map where probably mines really need to be swept. Panzer is good to go there with the double puncher checks. Osttruppen light machine dealing with the advancing conscripts. Mortar nearby to support. Gasping of 7. We got the second guard squad by there for Fahu. Very good. Replaces some of the engineers lost. In fact, Fahu's now lost most of his engineer squad, which does mean he will struggle repairing his armour. There might be some hope there for Deimos in that sense against the ISU. And there you go, Panzer IV finally specs. He's finally moving westward. He's finally going to try and crack open the nut that is Fahu here on the left flank at least. There you go, routing the machine gun. Nice work there. Still happening at a rather slow pace, and meanwhile Fahu is swiftly gobbling up the east like a ravenous predator. Panther hanging back, they're close to veterans 1 up here. We got troops healing force. We got a Panzer again being attempted here by Deimos versus Fahu. Will it be enough, or does it really just need more Panthers? Watch and find out, I guess. Gasping the negative cover there, but still grabbing the centre victory point. Fahu is now stalling and stopping the victory point bleed that Deimos has otherwise been successfully engaging Fahu in. ISU there being repaired. Panther gaining eventually 2 shots and added. Very good, very good. Sehr good, in fact. Panzer about to be down there for Deimos. And he's got Pioneer stick caught laying down mines. He's definitely looking to cover up his flanks against any attempts there from Fahu to outmaneuver him. Once more Panzer dealing with the Maxim. It really to just drive up behind the house and just clear out the bastards. T-Fed 14-6 halfway to the ace level. Very good. Panther moving in. Punch Eagles nearby support as well. And once more he does not. He's allowed the Maxim to just hide behind the house there. He must be worried if he tries to go for it. There's some sort of trap there from Fahu, which... knowing Fahu actually is not a bad idea to anticipate, but in this case there isn't from what I know. There are no mines here, so in this regard there is no trap to punishment for going for the Maxim here, but I'm guessing Deimos is feeling a bit wary here of Fahu at this stage. I should finally going to move on, even rather, still in the east. Conscript, T-Fed Panther engaging the T-Fed 4, shoots, misses. Panther for the opening up. Not a single kill, quite a waste. The Panther 4 down to less than half health. Almost got the Maxim here, almost got it. Noting no pin-up machine by the way for the Panther 4. He's got plenty of munitions, so that's a bit of a question as to why Deimos is doing that. Never mind, he's just floating a lot on munitions. No mines comparatively. I mean, I think he's laid down a telemine or 2 maybe, but that's it. Compared to again, Fahu's been laying down a lot of mines. And I do mean a lot. Maxim here being pinned down. Heavy fire, we got the Panthers flanking up. They've actually 2 direct hit from the ICU. Almost takes out the entire unit, leaving Deimos. They're feeling a bit sad, I imagine. More pioneers there for Deimos. Panzer going to use whack retreat by the ISU. A significant blow here to the German army. Back here, troops reinforcing. More pioneers out there for Deimos and the 416th Infantry Division. Back here, troops reinforcing. Fast getting ready for the next big push. 400 senators, 143. I mean, Deimos still has the victory point here, but he's at the moment struggling in any meaningful way to just finish the fight here, I think. Ooh, not mine, grenade off on the pioneers. Panther moving up. You're finally adding pin-up machines at least to the Panther. Good, sehr good. Still could have benefited a lot from an offset attention of the artillery calling, but also just the smoke. And he's got lots of munitions, and that you gotta feel like there's not really much of an excuse for Deimos not to go for it. Plus now he's really short on infantry, as the officer could just quickly help plug the gap there for Deimos in a lot of ways. Machine gun there setting up close. Actually, is ace level in the east here. Osttruppen being routed, close to being another wipe there. Panther firing off in the conscripts, and most of the rockets hit the water, not the Russians. 7 kills, Panthers in the centre. Geballte Ladner. Suddenly, Deimos now uses his abilities a lot more, but the question is, can he use them in a decisive manner that will turn the tide against Fahu and his merry band of Marxists? Mortars continue to provide ample fire support there for Fahu. Excellent work there in the West Panther 4 versus the Maxim. Still no pin-up machine gun. Can go for the offset. Could also go for more Panzer grenades. That would be a bad choice. Almost got a wipe there, almost. But escapes in the end. Had he moved up the Panther 4, the pin-up machine, he probably could have wiped that Maxim there. But there you go. Healing reinforcement here. The ISU is moving out once more. Slowly, steadily, switching ammunition right in front of the Germans, but the Germans can't quite see it, so of course Deimos doesn't know. ISU there versus the Panther 4. Panther going here for a flank on the ISU. A bold maneuver here. Could work out, could work out. But could do with some infantry support, and that's one thing that Deimos is having a severe deficit infantry. Panther 4 needs to pull back. It's about to get knocked out. If he's not careful, he's about to get overrun. Constantly into tank grenades, and the Panther 4's going to go down here. A definite blunder by Deimos. Machine they're trying to hold off the Russian hordes, but it's not quite enough here. The MG-34 risks overheating, and there you go. The Panther 4 goes down. A significant blow there to Deimos. A significant win here for Fahu. Panther 4 barrage off again. 7 kills so far. Rocket barrage ends up doing nothing there. A shame for Deimos, a victory for Fahu in that instance. That's just, again, now a massive cooldown where that Panther is going to be doing absolutely nothing to disrupt Fahu's day. Hitting the eastern victory point there with the Punch-Jägers, not bad, that they probably should be close to the front line, finding that way back up the Panther, and theoretically any other tanks they might go for. And certainly he's going to probably need more than one Panther to have a chance to go as far as Gap, but he also needs more assault infantry, and of course the officer can kind of fill that gap. Also then taking nasty hits from the ISU. Maxim also hammering away, hitting the eastern point. They're almost done. Panther slowly being repaired, troops are hitting and forcing. Heading eastwards with the Panzer Grenadier and straying to more mines from Fahu. Troops hitting and forcing. Panther is veterans you won. That might be something there for Deimos. Fahu, I think, should just be laying down more mines if he can. Big 2 points there being guarded fanatically by Fahu. Seizing the western fuel point once more there. Deimos going for a second. Panther the second. Panzerkampfwagen 5th. That's going to be a lot of glorious premium Panthers there for Deimos and Deutschland. Panther moving up here, Maxim in the way. T-54 backing up against the might of the German army here with the Panther. That's not going to be enough here to stop Deimos, and there go directly on the T-54 section from the Panther. Maxim crew is slowly and steadily dropping in the face of the Panther. Comes coming about, he got him backing up. The Pack 40s to fall back. Panther number 2 halfway done. Panzerwerfer Barrage joins in. Can it do the impact? And once more ends up falling quite short there. Gets a single kill, but it really isn't having a massive impact there for Deimos against Fahu. Seizing the centre victor point, seizing the eastern one. He might be able to get a bit more bleed here on Fahu, but Fahu's got an overwhelming force and likely an overwhelming opportunity soon enough to destroy Deimos if Deimos does not change the arithmetics of this battle. And there you go, second Panther arriving, I assume moving ahead, 10 kills, veterans U1. So can Deimos do this with his Panthers? And minimal infantry support, which is definitely, I think, a particular problem if he does go for an attack. But we'll have to see, In the centre there, punch eggs in the front from the ISU. That's already one potential element of infantry support for the Panthers there, and it's already routed ISU down to less than half health. Panthers are going to go for it. We've got Blitzkrieg on 1. He is basically betting, by the way, that Fahu has not been mining this area whatsoever, and for once, it's a bet that's actually going to pay off there for Deimos. That's really called in on the support nearby, taking advantage of the Panthers' push here to hope Fahu doesn't pay attention to to keep the Panthers flank for safe here against the ISU. And there you go, direct hit, mortar field gun down. Severe losses there to Fahu. An absolutely bold aggressive push there by Deimos, but his Panthers already heavily damaged. Pack in the centre, they're being assaulted by the Engineers. Panthers trying to get away here. Of course, plenty of mines, good range. Also, Gasp in the way there. Panther needs to turn his front against the T-54. In fact, he'd have a much better chance against the T-54 if he did that, rather than trying to escape, because the T-54 now has a vegetable feed, but it has a high rate of fire, meaning it can easily just take out the Panther on the retreat here. So that was definitely, I think, the wrong call there by Deimos. I understand he makes it. He was probably, feeling a bit of the rush there, but now his Panther's down. He's down to 1. Another ISU's been called up. Then while he's done some damage, it's ultimately not quite enough compared to the losses he suffered. I mean, he's down to just the punch eagers now. He's got no other infantry, no more Panzer Grenadiers, no officer, no Osttruppen, no nothing. He is in a very tight spot here against Fahu. I mean, he still has the victory point lead, but that's the real only lead he, I think, it's safe to say he has left now, or maybe nations. Conscripts were wiped by the Panzerwerfers. A small victory there for Deimos in a sea of despair. More Panzers out there for Deimos. No sign of the officer, sadly. 13 kills, veterans 1, Panther unit repairs. Panzer squad number 2 almost done. 8 machine guns doing what they can, either reinforcing healing or defend the front line. Here we at Pioneers as Guardsmen. We got 293 versus 136. And there you go, fresh Panzer Grenadiers out for Deimos. HT-44 unit repairs, noting that Fahu has gone for fresh engineers to replace the ones who lost. Noting also double munitions caches opening up for more mines, more abilities and more upgrades. Good work there by Fahu. Again, now the head-on assault into the ISU. Of course, he doesn't know his opponent immediately went for another one, but now he knows, and yet he continues the assault. I'd say if Deimos is daring, or he's just gone insane at this stage. Moving in, the Panther, they're not fully repaired against the ISU. Gives away the position there, accidentally. They definitely should not be trying to slug it out with the ISU head-on, though. Panzers are moving out. I mean, if you grab the field control against the ISU, you could, I suppose, have a chance there. There you go, direct hit. The Team Force moving against the Panther as well there. Shoots, misses. Pack 40 setting up there. Team Force is down to half over, the Panther's down to much less than that. Pack 40 was too slow, by the way. Need to get the Panther out of there. Oh! Accidental misclick here, but finally accidentally altered not to shoot, but instead to use secure mode. Oh dear. Almost got it, Panther fire down here somewhere. And the Team 4 rams the Panther, destroying Deimos' remaining tank, leaving him now with a bit of everything but except tanks and artillery. Well, more consistent. And there you go, Deimos surrenders. A blow to the German army. The 416th Infantry Division is routed here. Its front line collapsing and Fahu pouring through like hot lead through something not capable of holding hot lead. A glorious fight here with really great mining, but Fahu certainly good understanding of the map, good understanding of his opponent's perspective. He just kept playing around with Deimos' focusing. Deimos, on the hand, I think suffered too much from tunnel vision, while he had some good elements here with his Osttruppen in the end. I feel like wasn't quite able to wield the force effectively due to some issues here and then. Again, not using the officer, I think was also a bit of a mistake there by Deimos, and not using his railway artillery support as much as he can, and also just the field to focus on the field sufficiently was also really big for Fahu in the long run, really just allowed him to just mostly go for the ISU, and that proved to be Deimos' undoing. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. I hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it, tell your friends, tell your family, but don't tell your enemies. This is Imperial League Cheers. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you all tomorrow again for an awesome episode. Bye.